be real frank with you, okay? Pick up that phone and call somebody. Even if you're just calling agents in your market, just get on the phone and talk to somebody. Now, that whole thing of, oh, should I find a buyer first? Should I find a seller first? Everybody has their own opinion on that, and we're all different. But one thing I do know is that the only way to get a deal is to pick up the phone or to be around people who are doing deals. So I challenge you to pick up that phone and call somebody. Even if you call the nicest house on the MLS, just the fact that you talk to an agent, that's what you need to get started.
Yep.
Section 8 clients. Do you get like a list of people?
My name is Aline, and I just recently...
Okay.
So think about your workflow. Again,
I don't know how to do it.
I know how to do it, and I'm trying to instruct other people to do better in their business, but I also have to do better in my business.
Johnny Stewart said, what is the most challenging when dealing with potential clients / sellers? Do you find it hard because you never claim to be a realtor and that's what most people know?
That's a great question. The fact that I don't disclose I'm a realtor or sound like a realtor actually works in my advantage, because these people want to talk to somebody who they feel is on their same level, right? So I attack it as, hey, I'm just like you. I just want to buy the house. I'm not trying to come with a power and be like, hey, I'm a realtor. I'm trying to list your house. So I think it's actually easier without disclosing that I'm a realtor or, hey, let me buy your house or list your house rather.
Yep.
As far as the most challenging with sellers, I would say that once you so we're in the business, it's a numbers game, right? We're trying to find motivation. So I think once you find somebody who's motivated, I don't think getting them to sell is hard. The hard part is sitting there and hearing all those no's, and, a bunch of cuss words. But once you get somebody who actually wants to sell and actually wants to talk to you, the conversation's rather easy and they don't really put up too much of a fight, if that makes sense.
Most definitely. That actually goes into this next question by Dorian. Dorian opens doors. Love the name Dorian, by the way. So that's awesome. Cool. So he says, what do you consider a motivated lead?
That's a great question. And I feel like there's a lot of different answers to that, judging by who you ask and the kind of questions you ask when you're on the phone. To me, a motivated person is somebody who's ready to move now and wants an offer now, right? You get a lot of people who are on the phone who are just like, yeah, just shoot me an offer. I don't think those people are motivated. I judge motivation by what's going on in your life and why do you need to sell? Or what's the reason for selling? Do you want to sell right now? I think those are the motivation questions, and that's how you can tell if a lead is truly, truly motivated by if they actually want to stay in that house or if they just want a number that is above market that they'll take so they can move.
100%. So this is Mike Stedwell, my brother, actually. He says, shoot me an offer. And you get those all the time. And you know how I respond to those is, well, I need to get more information, and they keep pushing. I will literally lowball the crap out of them and see what they say. And I tell them, I say, listen, I got to assume the worst. I got to take this down to the bones.
Yeah.
And I got to assume you're lying to me.
That's a good way. The way that I attack it, I just say, well, how much do you want? They're like, well, show me an offer. Well, how much do you want? Like, I don't want to just throw a number at the wall and, sit here on a guessing game. Tell me what you want. Now, usually when you ask, tell me what you want, they'll say, shoot me an offer, or they'll say an astronomical price that won't work. So those phone calls are typically very quick.
Yeah. So Tammy B says, I think it's important to connect with the sellers to understand their situation. And that is where rapport comes in 100%. So building rapport is most important. And I think that's where people, they just want to go straight into the offer.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, let me, you said you're interested in selling. Why do you want to sell? What's the reason? Oh, for the right price, then, I literally will probably tell them, hey, I'm probably not your person. I'm an investor. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can connect you with a realtor. Maybe you can get that on the market. Don't know. But if you want, I can have somebody give you a call that I know and trust.
Yeah.
Would you like that? They say, oh, no. It was just if it's the right price, Okay, great. Have a great day.
Exactly. And back to the rapport thing that you were talking about. You can build a rapport in one or two ways, and I like both ways. Like asking the questions, diving into their life, building rapport that way by having a conversation about things you like. Or I like building rapport by showing that person what I can do for them, right? Putting myself in a position of trust with that person by this is what I can do for you and this is how I want to help you. That's how I love building rapport.
Most definitely. So because the thing is like I said before, and like you said actually earlier, we are deal finders, not deal creators.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is very hard to tell people. And I actually find it very, like when I talk to a realtor, it's very hard because they think their house is up here and if I put it on the MLS, I'm going to get this. And I go, probably not. Compared to what I'm looking at, I go, and I may stroke the ego a little bit, I go, you know what? Maybe you will. I don't know. But as an investor, I got to be able to make money.
Yeah.
And, I say, after I fix it up and sell it, I got to pay commissions, closing costs, all of that stuff. I go, on average, it takes it's about 10 to 11% to sell a house after the fact, once I flip it. So now I got to subtract that. And I had one guy say, well, I'm not going to have you make $100,000 off of me. I go, where did you get $100,000?
Yeah.
And we run down the math. I go, okay, but then I still got to pay. And I let him know that I'm like 11%. Okay, you take that away. I'll be lucky to make 50. And that's because I'm spending 6 months to do the work.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's sometimes you got to run the numbers. Sometimes they're too emotional.
Yeah.
So
don't even get me started on agents. I have a love-hate relationship with agents. So
okay. So I gotta, what parts of you said you do all over Tennessee. Okay.
Yep.
Now, are you more in the rural areas or are you more in the city?
I'm more in the city. I don't like to touch the rural areas too much. Or if there's a big city, I like to go to the cities around it, like 40 minutes around. But I like to stay in the city. I'm not really in the rural areas at all.
Got it. So, and yeah, most definitely like that is because it's harder to comp in rural areas. That's what I've said.
Yeah.
Being land, and it's harder to find buyers for rural areas as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, unless you're selling to a retail buyer, that's really the only time. So, Johnny Stewart says, "Is there ever a time to play hardball with a seller? Like reality is a tough pill to swallow for some people."
That's another great question. I think there is a time, and that time comes after you've already built that trust with the person. So I know many times the third, fourth, or fifth phone call with a person, we have a great relationship, and I just tell them, hey, listen, do you mind if I tell you something, and do you promise not to hate me? That's how I like to enter it. They're like, yes, I promise. and I'll just hit them straight with the facts. This is what we're thinking. So that automatically puts their guard down because I got their permission to say something that might tip them off a little bit, right?
Okay.
So that's how I attack those kind of hard questions, hard comments that I have to make. Is just by telling them, hey, look, do you mind if I tell you something, and do you promise not to hate me? That I like to be the nice guy in those conversations. So I've pulled that line out many times, and it's always worked. But there is a time where you kind of have to get hardball with these people. It's not one of those things where you're doing it on the first call because you don't have that rapport built with them yet. That's something that happens later on when you have to really get down and dirty with them and let them know exactly what's going on.
And the key thing is that once you find out why they're selling and the reason, when you do have to play the hardball, you have to tell them, hey, you really want this to happen. You need to move out of state, by XYZ time. Really, this is the only way you're going to be able to do that. These are your options to meet your timeline.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I won't be your buyer outside of that. I'd love to work with you, and I let people know, hey, I'll give you as much advice as you want, but I'll always be straight up with you.
Exactly. Kind of using their own wishes and wants to get them to a place where okay, you're right. Let me move forward now.
Right. Exactly. So, Tammy is saying, I think it's hard being new because I don't know what I can do besides finding a buyer.
Tammy,
yeah.
Thank you so much for your activity, Tammy. You have kind of made this with all your questions, so thank you so much. Tammy, I'm going to be real frank with you, okay? Pick up that phone and call somebody. Even if you're just calling agents in your market, just get on the phone and talk to somebody. Now, that whole thing of, should I find a buyer first? Should I find a seller first? Everybody has their own opinion on that, and we're all different. But one thing I do know is that the only way to get a deal is to pick up the phone or to be around people who are doing deals. So I challenge you to pick up that phone and call somebody. Even if you call the nicest house on the MLS, just the fact that you talk to an agent, that's what you need to get started. Don't get caught in that analysis paralysis. Like right now you're watching us talk, which is great, but that's not, you're not on the phone. You're learning, but you're not on the phone. So don't get caught in learning where you get stuck to not do anything. You have enough knowledge. I can tell. You have enough knowledge.
Yeah.
Just go do it. And you got it. Just go do it.
Yeah. She says, gosh, I feel a certain kind of way now. I have to do more research to help people. Tammy, I'm telling you, this is what you do. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's exactly what Johnny just told you. You go do it. Once you have questions, don't try to bullshit your way through. Okay. What you do is, hey, I just need to bring in my partner and see if we can help you out a little bit more. And then you bring in either another wholesaler that's a bit more experienced and they can help you walk you through some things. Okay. That's it. Okay. You can come to me. You can come to Johnny. You can come to whoever's in your market that is a bigger wholesaler that is willing to work with you. Okay. I JV'd my first 3 deals. Okay. My first deal was $1,333. It was the best $1,333 that I ever made. You know how much we sold the house for? Okay. It was $8,000. And I still made $1,300. It was split 3 ways. Not the $1,300. $1,300 was my portion. But the whole assignment fee was split 3 ways. I had a partner, and then I brought in another wholesaler. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but you have to speak with as many people as you can, and you learn from every new person.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off of what he was saying, there's wholesalers and there's people out there. There are so many Facebook groups. One Facebook group that I love is the Creative Finance with Pace Morby. I know he has a Facebook group as well. If you just put in there, hey, I have a seller who's asking me, some questions that I don't know. Does somebody want to jump on the phone with me? People are going to be clamoring at that because they want to help you out. They want to see you get your first deal. So there's so many. This thing that I love about this whole real estate community is there's people who are out there to help, right? And you're going to have my phone number at the end of this. Call me anytime. You're like, hey, Johnny, I need help with this. I have a seller who's ready to go. Do you mind three-waying with us? And I say, absolutely. Now, don't call me until that seller is ready to jump on a three-way because I want you to do the work up until that point. But if it starts getting touchy, there's people out there who will help. But you just have to put yourself out there and talk to people, man.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view.